Hey guys, what's going on? This is part two to my Tim Bohen Money Bar review. So today I want to talk about the actual alerts that you get. So you get alerts from this as well as the money bar. The money bar is what you're looking at right now. It's pretty useful. I'll show you what happened overnight on the one that we talked about yesterday, which was TGL. But if you look on the left here, this is inside the dashboard, you do get alerts every Monday, and you can typically get somewhere between one and five alerts depending on, you know, any conditions that are met inside this program. So Tim actually picks them based on the float rotation and all this stuff that we talked about yesterday. I'll leave a link to yesterday's video, which is this one right here, which talked about in much more detail about the rotation, the float rotation stuff, and the actual bar indicator itself. So definitely check that out when you get a chance. I'll put it in this review here as well, linked in the description, so you can go through and check out my review from yesterday. It's in here in the bottom. So that talks all about this money bar. And I looked at some examples. One of them was TGL, and it was pretty interesting. I theoretically didn't actually do it, bought in when the float had rotated 128 times according to the money bar indicator. And you can see that we did indeed see some movement upwards, some decent movement upwards. This is where the float had rotated 143x, so definitely saw some decent movement. And then pre-market this morning, we saw quite a decent spike up here to nearly 5, which is pretty good from the low threes. So quite a decent move based on this money bar pick, which was TGL. It's still running today. It's already rotating through its float, but you can see it's trending down. So kind of talked about that yesterday a little bit anyway. But anyway, I was kind of looking at the money bar. I think it's interesting, but I do think that you need to combine it with these alerts, which that's what Tim Bohen's doing in this program. By the way, it's only $49 for lifetime. I think you only get the alerts though for a year, but you get the indicator for lifetime. So $49, I'll leave the link in the description below. Pretty decent deal from what I can see. So we're looking at small cap stocks, which basically move similar percentages to options. So you can trade pre-market and after hours if you want as well with them. So anyway, this TGL, I thought it was interesting that the large float rotation did indicate a big move coming. It's not been a huge move, but it's a decent move. It's 50% or something, right? I mean, it's pretty good. So anyway, it's TGL, so that was carried on from yesterday's video. I wanted to show you a bunch of different stuff today. So if we look here, so this is the dashboard, like I said, this is the money bar doing its thing right now. You can see today's tickers soon, RTC. These are all kind of ticking away, going through their float rotation, trading, going around. But I wanted to talk about this stuff, which is the money Monday alerts. And so every Monday, supposedly, it's just kind of started, so there's not a lot of data. You get these alerts that come out. Basically, they are his top picks, and you get an entry signal. So let's look at this first one, WINT, in here. So basically, you get the coming out on the Monday. You get an entry signal, a profit target, and a stop loss. Of course, you can adjust those to what you want. You get the ticker symbol, and the notification settings are easy to do. They're right here, so you can get email alerts and/or push notifications, so it pops up. The cool thing about these is they're not really super fast scalps. You do have to take some action on them within like 5 or 10 minutes, but as you'll see from the examples I'm going to show you, they're not like 5 second scalps like some of these other small cap systems are. Like Tim Sykes can be really fast moving. So this one was much slower moving. I marked it up, but it looks like trading views kind of timed out on some of these. So I'm going to have to go back through here and figure out where the markings are. So this one, and this is a new service, so the bad news is there's no huge track record. So I've just gone through and kind of found a few to see how they kind of worked out. Um, let's have a look at WINT. So it was March 24th at 7:40 my time, so I marked it up March 24th. So all the way back here. So like right here. Oops. I had this all nicely set up before I started the video, but then it kind of bugged out like Here we go. So this one was actually a losing trade. Uh, Basically, it was pre-market right here, and this one was supposedly, you're supposed to get in around here, and then it never spiked quite high enough, and then it sold off, and you'd have stopped out by now. So that was a losing trade, so not a good start to the system. However, the next few trades have all been really good winners, so let's look at those. This one looks like it's still bugged out to me, so let's go and look. So this one is BF, so BIAF. So here, this was the latest trade that he put out here. So it is this one. And this was 2 weeks ago, so they're not every single week. So you're not getting a lot of alerts, but then some days you'll get like, some Mondays you'll get like five. So bear that in mind if you're thinking about purchasing this system. But this example was a bit easier to see, March 31st. So I'll just zoom in here. So this one right here. So this was pretty cool. So you can see not much was happening during the day on Monday, March 31st. But obviously there was float rotation going around, otherwise it wouldn't be picked as the Monday mover or Money Monday alert. And you can see the alert came out around this time with an entry of 0.27, so around here. And these are 1 minute candles, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you had like 5 minutes before the market shut, and as the market closed, we had this huge spike up to the profit target. And then look at the continuation of this thing; it just kept going up and up and up. Pretty impressive. So this one worked out really well. So you can see you do sometimes have to move relatively quickly on them, but if you have a push notification to your computer or whatever, you should be able to get in on these lower volume candles after after that. So it's a very low priced one. Let's look at another one. There's been a lot to choose from. T-non is the other one, so if I check this one out here. So this one was on March 24th. It's when the program seemed to start. It was March 24th. So close this one. So I have to go all the way back to March 24th here. Okay, so you can see it in the middle of the page here. Start zooming in. And it was a very similar pattern at the end of the day. Seems like those ones have worked out really well. So I've circled the entry and exits. So you can see what I like about these is, especially if this is becoming the trend, is it's towards the end of the day. The one that I showed you at the start was the only one that I've seen that was like at the start of the day. But you can see like there's plenty of time to get in. Again, there was like these are 3 minute candles this time, so this would be 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 20. Like 20 minutes here. Well, it was still flat at the entry price of 0.98. Let's get rid of this. So entry signal 0.99 with a profit target of 1.29. So it's about a 30% gain, right? So these things are moving, and it hit that very, very quickly on this 3 minute candle after hours and continued up. So it hit 30% within 20 minutes, which is kind of like what you expect with options trading. So that's why I think a lot of people ignore stocks these days, like these low float small cap stocks, and go with options. But you can still see some good movement with these smaller stocks, 30% all the way up to 60% if you'd held it. Pretty nice. So unfortunately, the alerts do look quite good, but there's just not enough data yet to be like, okay, like this has got a really good track record. You'd be kind of gambling on the fact that you're using the money bar indicator for your own strategies and then using the Monday alerts for the additional alerts, which honestly, for $49 for the year of the alerts and unlimited use of the money bar indicator, isn't that bad a deal, really. So I'll update my review here and leave all the links that you need in the description below if you want to go and buy this. $49, can't go wrong. Check it out, and I'll talk to you guys soon.